Well, hello and welcome. I hope you're all staying safe in these unprecedented times. I'm Craig Partridge, Senior Director Worldwide for HPE Pointnext Services Digital Advisory Practice. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reshape the way that you look at digital transformation and provide you with a framework that will transform how you see your business enabled through technology. Now, many might argue that during periods of massive disruption, that the aspirational ambitions of organizations to differentiate themselves in the market needs to go on pause while they hunker down to a minimum viable operating model. In my role, I get to speak to customers from all over the world and in many different industries. And my firm belief is that it's those bold few that redirect their efforts quickly, that make strategic bets on where their market is now heading, that will emerge even stronger and better equipped to drive value in their new normal. So the question is whether there's a pattern emerging that could be described and reused that can shape your own digital ambition. Well, I believe we found that pattern, a model that can define the sequence and help you orchestrate your own digital initiatives. One thing is clear, organizations that have invested heavily in digitizing their customer experiences delivered by digital platforms are finding ways to thrive. It's those companies that can immediately pivot their offerings and scale their digital edge that can see a path to accelerated business outcomes, because being able to react in near real time to sudden change in demand and use of their products and services is a huge competitive weapon. And that is a software-driven capability. Organizations that have relied on physical experiences have witnessed massive, almost unrecoverable consequences recently. But it's not just digitizing the transaction moment that's important. Let's face it, there's lots of e-commerce platforms that we can all choose from. It's the end-to-end customer experience that's key. So, how do we reshape the digital edge of an organization? And where do we start to pivot our investment strategies? Well, we see the digital edge as being comprised of two major journeys. And a journey in this model simply provides the overarching business outcomes that support the initiative. So different journeys have, by definition, different outcomes. And so inside your organization, therefore, I suspect different stakeholders. The first journey at the digital edge is to deeply consider for whom you are designing your digital engagement model. We call this the human edge. This part of the digital edge strategy seeks to understand the beneficiary persona in detail, building up a picture of their daily lives, the pain points that they face, the gains that they would like to see from your offerings. It avoids a build it and they will come mentality, which is often the curse of new ideas. It forces us to live in the shoes of those people that we believe we can have a positive impact on, reshaping the way that they live and work. Can you describe a day in the life of this person? Do different demographics have different expectations and needs? If the persona is a customer, what KPI will drive the initiative? Perhaps revenue or customer retention. If the persona is an employee, perhaps productivity is a more meaningful KPI. The second journey of the digital edge is to consider the physical world that your digital engagement model will be used in. So, in other words, what's the context? Is it a workplace, the shopping mall, a stadium, an airport, a hospital? The point is that the physical world can now be increasingly instrumented and thus digitized, offering us a view into how spaces and things are being used, and we can turn that digital stream of data into insights, and we can model those insights to provide new levels of control, beyond just predicting the physical world and increasingly towards autonomy. Can that insight about your own operating environments and assets be designed into the experience to create a differentiated engagement model? For example, we're partnering with Continental to do exactly that, lifting the data from cars, which is their physical context, and leveraging it to enhance the driver experience, creating a new digital value proposition for the industry. The digital edge, then, is best described as the convergence of these two agendas, creating highly contextualized and personal digital services. So, with these journeys, exploring your organization's digital edge, how do you provide your organization with the agility and speed it will need? Well, that's where a cloud-enabled supply chain is critical. We see a direct correlation between organizations that can power these new insights and experiences at their digital edge, also have the agility and speed at the back end. And being cloud-enabled means taking a services-centric approach to delivering technology innovation that leverages a cloud architecture. Development environments can be instantly spun up, new projects can launch on scaled platforms, and the cost is aligned to the usage metric, meaning that innovation and exploration can be achieved with a much lower risk threshold, overcoming traditional upfront capital investment. On this side of the model, we again see two compelling journeys that launch digital initiatives. The first is focused on core renovation, a journey that we call Modernize and Move. This is typically an IT-driven journey that seeks to align to key KPIs around cost optimization and agility. This journey is constantly looking back to design out constraints in back-end systems and redefine the price and performance ratio of IT services moving existing workloads onto new cloud architected service delivery platforms. Of course, balancing the right mix of on and off premises supply chain dynamics. Now, this isn't just about renovating the core for the benefit of IT, however. It's a foundational pillar that looks to extend its benefits into the lines of business and specifically the developer community that need to build a next generation wave of digital engagement, applications and services. Which brings us to the second journey in this cloud-enabled side of the model, which is developer-led, what we call accelerate development. In this journey, the key KPI is time to value, driven through a continuous innovation pipeline, leveraging APIs and microservices to design and rapidly deliver incremental software improvements, taking digital edge services to the next level. So increasingly, connecting these two journeys for better strategic results is an important concept embedded in the model. Being cloud-enabled then is the combination of these two journeys, working strategically and harmoniously inside an organization's digital strategy. Here, we're working with major financial institutions, such as JCB in Tokyo, to accelerate their innovation agenda, leveraging cloud-native architectures and containerization. Now, you will have noticed that the two sides of this model overlap, creating a Venn diagram. Well, that's not only deliberate, but it's the key to unlocking value realization in your digital ambition. These three enablers form up what we could describe as the digital backbone of an organization. The first is intelligence, a digital capability that seeks to unlock the potential of data in order for organizations to innovate and differentiate. You know, arguably the biggest leap in the digital agenda has been the ever-moving frontier of what we can do with data sets, applying advanced analytics, AI and machine learning techniques to uncover the answers to questions that we didn't even know to ask. Every journey in the model benefits from this intelligence capability, from understanding customers' buying behavior so that we can anticipate their needs and offer personalized services, to deploying new inference engines at the edge, through to the promise of an autonomous data center, and of course, easy to use cognitive services for developers. The intelligence capability will be your differentiation engine in the new normal. The second, shown at the bottom of the framework, is trust. A connected organization needs to be secure, of course, especially with advancing cyber threats, but it also needs to be resilient. It needs to be compliant. It needs to respect individuals' right to privacy and needs to promote its brand as an ethical consumer of data, especially as we connect to more and more people and things at the digital edge. And central to the key enabler for your digital ambition will be your people. More than just their skills, albeit bridging the skills gap will be key, but also focus on the culture that binds your organization together, the operating model. Many of the customers I speak to have commenced initiatives that are designed to create a digital-first culture, re-gearing the way that you measure people, for example, moving from efficiency to effectiveness measures, realigning your organization around those key value chain activities that can be enhanced, augmented, or replaced through digitalization will determine your ultimate success. Now, establishing this digital backbone will be critical to service the demands and needs that will surface as you explore your new normal. Where many customers stall in their plans is not recognizing this inherent constraint, trying to work around the digital backbone by spinning up unique solutions and attached to point products. To scale digital in an enterprise, the fastest route to value is to deduplicate the center of this model. Then finally, and as a context to all of this, is the consideration about what business model you'll use to create this new value and how you consume services in your newly constructed cloud-enabled supply chain. And increasingly, the answer to that question centers around a pervasive theme, and that's the shift towards as-a-service models. Now, this consideration applies equally to both sides of the model. Perhaps you'll offer new digital services as a subscription at your edge, or perhaps you'll shift from capital-intensive procurement cycles to consumption-based models that are metered on your actual usage. The shift to everything as a service is a significant backdrop to the majority of the key decisions you'll make as you pivot to the new normal and reevaluate where to place your strategic bets going forward. This then is a unique model from HPE to you. We call it the digital journey map, and our digital advisors use it to help sequence and orchestrate our customers' digital ambitions and de-risk their path to value. Okay, enough of the background. Let's see how this really works with one of our customers in Europe, specifically Ajax Youth Academy. Now then, as many of you will know, Ajax is one of the most successful football teams in the world. Champions League contenders. And they're pretty rare in that a lot of their success is based on developing their own players through their youth academy. So in a multi-billion-dollar industry, their youth academy is at the heart of their critical differentiator. Now let's look at the journey map through their eyes. First of all, as we said, the operating model is established to deliver valuable players to the market that Ajax can monetize through selling to other clubs. Now they embarked on their digital strategy at their edge, digitizing pitches, introducing technology like 4K video and wearable devices. That stream of data was manipulated by their data scientists to derive intelligence about how much they could load the training onto each individual unique player and how that player responded to the training plans. Of course, they needed to secure the trust of the player. That's personal data, after all, about how a player is performing. And they turned that insight back into a better coaching experience. The coaches now at Ajax Youth Academy can stand on the pitch side and in real time see data about those players as they're exercising them through that training schedule. They're enhancing the data by delivering and developing an application which captures sleep patterns and food ingestion. And of course, all of that data needs to sit right there next to the pitch. In fact, 150 terabytes of hot data sitting there available to be delivered back to the coaching staff. The rest, the cold data storage, is in a hybrid cloud environment in public Azure. Now, this is a much better way of looking at the map through a holistic lens. So when you embark on your journey to fundamentally reshape your digital edge, think about whether or not that can be enhanced through intelligence. How will it affect the operating model? And can you ensure how you will be acting as a trusted guardian of that data? Perhaps you can augment the experience through the context of the physical world. Does what you're trying to drive have an impact on the back-end systems? Will those systems cope and scale with your ambition at the edge? And can you unlock the insights to the developer community so that they can continuously enhance and develop that experience back to the edge? This is a practical application of the map, and it's something that our digital advisors use throughout the world to help customers de-risk their path to value in their digital transformations. So with that, enjoy the rest of the event, and thanks you for tuning in.